Hey everybody, it's Mike Young with aPlantBasedDiet.org, and I have a very special interview here today with my neighbor, actually in Terra, Ecuador. This is Nicholas Mourtogias. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes, that's right, Mike.
All right, and we're talking to Nicholas. I am in the studio here at our nonprofit. Nick is actually in Ecuador. We're doing a live interview. He's at his house in the community of Terra Frutis. And Nicholas, can you describe for us just quickly what is Terra Frutis community? Because most people watching this probably have no idea about Terra Frutis.
Okay, hello everyone. We are here at Terra Frutis, and Terra Frutis is an intentional community here in Ecuador. It's a vegan community with vegan ethics, and also we are really into producing a fruit forest and food and permaculture, and yeah, we try to live a natural lifestyle, sustainable. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So I know it's a like-minded community, as Nick described, and it's a private community. You actually have to apply to get in, right? You need to make sure that it's continuing like minds so that you can surround yourself with people of similar ideas, right?
Yes, someone before visits here, he sends an application, a questionnaire, where we have different questions to, and also one of them is about veganism and also diet and yeah, various other questions. So we select the people who are more like-minded and fit to the community.
Okay, very good. So basically, it is a place where you can live with like-minded individuals. Now, let me also mention that.
Yeah, I'm a part of the community, and also I'm living in a separate plot of land that I have bought from the community, where I have my own personal homestead lot, which I also developed with fruit trees and built it a house. And also I've created a small side project to Terra Frutis center, where it's more focused on raw diet and fruits. So yeah, they are
Okay,
both places coexisting.
well, it's exciting because what the viewers who are watching see behind you right now is your home that you built. I know that
Yeah,
my
the
wife and I are
center.
also building a house right up the street from you. We're going to be neighbors. And like you said, you have a community where people can come visit you. It's called Fruitarian Utopia with an E. And you explained to me because the Utopia actually exists. That's the Greek version of it. It's actually a real thing. It's not part of someone's imagination, right?
Exactly, exactly. People can come and visit and eat fruits here. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into learning more about you because our organization is helping, we believe, to transition the world from animal agricultural to a society that does not use animal products and is put together to optimize a person's health. And I believe that you also are very much into this health optimizing, and that's what brought you to Terra Frutis, right? So, we please describe to us maybe a little bit of just a little bit about your history, but what you're doing now, especially and going forward in this category of health optimization, which is rapidly developing. And we think, as people learn to take control of their health, they're going to want to learn more and more about these things and probably participate in these things. So please let us know a little about your history and where you're going.
Well, okay. I lost you a little bit. Now it's the connection is back. Yeah.
Yes, it's back.
Yeah. Would you like to repeat the question?
Yes, please let us know a little bit about your history of how you got to Terra Frutis and what you're doing to optimize your health and why it's important to be a Terra Frutis to do this.
Okay. I have quite a history back in 1999. I originally come from Greece, and I moved to UK at the time to study. And while I was in the university in United Kingdom, I've heard about the concept of vegetarianism and veganism. And that instantly clicked on me because I understood that I could meet my needs for nutrition and health without at the same time killing animals or stealing their secretion and interfering with that. So I kind of instantly switched to a vegetarian and vegan diet at that time, at that year, and also understood that it will be for my own health too, benefit for my own health. So it was both. And yeah, I followed that while I was in UK for 10 years. And then in about 2010, I've heard the concept of raw veganism and not altering the chemical structure and destroying a lot of the nutrients and creating chemicals, carcinogenic chemicals at plants by cooking them. So I've realized that in order to follow the raw vegan uh, diet to optimize even more my health, because I became raw this time for ethical reasons, but for my own health. Like as I'm an animal too, I
Yes.
need to do the best for my own health,
Yes.
not just the other animals. So, and then I realized that the United Kingdom at the time wasn't optimal for that type of diet. And that's why I moved back to Greece at that time in 2010 to be able to have more quality fresh fruits and vegetables, more sun, more warmth, to follow more of a raw vegan foods. And then with time, I was in Greece for 10 years. And then at 2019-20, I've realized that to carry on living, eating mostly fruits, I needed to get out of the city environment uh, and out of the city lifestyle to optimize my health more and have better quality of fruits and
Yes.
sustenance in this diet. So I looked around for raw vegan fruitarian communities where they exist in the world, because also the social aspect was very important to me to meet like-minded individuals. And then I found about Terra Frutis community, which is high raw. People eat mostly raw here, with some also cooking, but they eat mostly raw vegan diet. And also they focus on planting their own food here, roots, vegetable, fruit trees, um, fresh and organic. So all those were important to me. And also here in Ecuador, the climate is a lot more stable, no winters,
Yes.
a lot more warm, more in contact with the sun and the earth and the air, clean air and clean water. All those elements were really important for the health and optimizing my health. So yeah, I took the decision to 2019-20 to move permanently to Ecuador and Terra Frutis community.
Nice. Very nice. Okay, so it sounds like you've gone through a journey, a process to get where you are, and I do believe that most folks are also doing the same thing. You know, I'm based primarily in the United States, and I feel like where we are in the United States, I'm over 50. I'm 52, and most people my age are sick. They're on some type of maintenance pharmaceuticals. I've been to a few funerals as well for people in their 50s, and it's not a very self-promoting society. So I think that for anyone who wants to recognize that there's an alternative and maybe a better way, that's what I believe anyway. That's what I think people should be interested in, where you live in Terra Frutis and where we're building a house as well. So I want to also mention some of the things that you brought up. Well, the first thing is we lost our signal there for a moment. And just folks, I want you to know that, I think you know this, Nick, I'm on the waiting list for Starlink. So we will have reliable high-speed internet in the very near future. And that's going to change things dramatically for people if they want to work remotely. So that'll be a big game changer. The other thing is, some of the things you touched on are, you want to eat high quality foods. So you need to be able to live in a place where you can get them. And of course, Ecuador doesn't really have much variation in the seasons. They're almost all the same temperature-wise and also daylight-wise. You have almost 12 hours of sunlight, I think, every single day, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So that's a big deal. Like, if you think it's important and that there's a benefit to growing these plants with the actual sun, then and if humans are really meant to thrive the most on fruits, that's the place you need to go. You would agree with that, right?
Yes, if someone wants fresh fruits and vegetables with most high quality of nutrients and um, avoid any pesticides or any other chemicals, it's important to have stability in weather and sunlight and be in a very natural environment. And really nice thing here is because it's a mixture of rain and sun. We don't need to irrigate our crops and vegetables and trees. We don't need to supply them with water. Water comes from the rain freely and from streams and springs. And yeah, we don't have to care about that.
That's excellent, because I believe that there is extreme value in growing plants with the sun, because a lot of times you hear about new indoor vertical farms that use artificial lights, but I know that there is nothing out there that's more powerful of an object than the sun. And the plants are designed to harness that energy and then bring that to humans in the beneficial form. So very important. Another thing that's important that you talked about is growing your own food, because you know what it is. If you buy your food at the store, then you're just taking someone's word for it. And organic is the best. I do believe organic is the best, but even better is growing without chemicals altogether, because that's even better than organic. And if you're growing it yourself, you can do that, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, and we use mostly compost here, like human compost and plant compost to fertilize our plants, and they seem to love it with the abundance of the sun and the moisture and the water that the environment provides freely. Plants here thrive and grow quick, and yeah, they produce. And
Nice.
they
So
produce all year. Some of them produce all year round because it's stable season, stable temperatures,
yes.
and yeah,
So some of
it's
the things,
amazing.
yeah, some of the things you mentioned, stable temperatures. For instance, your house, I know our house, but your house doesn't have climate control, right? I don't think you even need climate control. Is that right?
No, I don't use any central heating or any cooling or any of these type of devices because it's pretty stable most year round, and yeah, no need of that, no energy expenditure on that.
Yeah, no noise, nothing to break, right? You're living in harmony with nature. It's just you're breathing the air that's going across the plants and coming into your house, and you're breathing that, and that's the best.
Exactly. Clean air, clean water from springs and streams nearby in a forest. Yeah, what more can we ask as humans and as like the plants too? They love it.
Yes, yes. Okay, you mentioned natural rainfall. We do a lot of events in Florida, and you probably saw there was a big hurricane that just came through Florida and just flattened so many things. Does anyone need to worry about hurricanes where you are in Ecuador?
None at all. Where we are, none at all. The only thing that we might worry is minor earthquakes that really they don't do any damage. You just feel them a bit now and then, but really no physical disasters here or
Right.
serious problems to, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, because where you are, you're up in the mountains. So I think the elevation is between, well, American standard, 2,500 to 3,000 feet above sea level, about 1,000 meters or a little bit less, I believe. Right. And then because of that, you are not down near the ring of fire that surrounds the Pacific Ocean, because that has tsunamis, that has big earthquakes, all that. But you're not anywhere near that, right?
No problem at all here.
Yeah.
In the Amazon rainforest, an altitude of 850 meters, yeah, we experience no issues, just, benefits and gains.
Yes, and I've benefited. I've visited. I've met. We've met in person before. But I want to convey to people that are watching that there's so much life around there. There's so many different species of plants, of animals. Because it's just highly conducive to life. And of course, if you're in an area that's highly conducive to life, your own life is going to benefit and become optimized in living in a place like that.
Exactly, we are surrounded by alive beings and either animals, insects, plants. It's an alive environment that's surrounding us, and that influences greatly our health.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. So let me think of some other things. Let's talk about where you are in Ecuador in terms of cost of living, because that's a big thing for people nowadays, especially in the United States. It seems like we went through a period of inflation and everything just skyrocketed in price. Is it expensive to live there? Is it affordable? How is that?
Not really. The basic income here is about $425. That the basic income monthly,
Hmm.
and that's really plenty for one person living in this type of setting with a simplified lifestyle and his own farm and his own food. No energy expenditure, not much maintenance. So it's really affordable, uh, especially if someone has saved some money being living before in developed countries and then come to Ecuador. Is a lot easier to do that and settle.
Very good,
Uh,
very good.
and yeah, the local products actually, because here in this place in on the Ecuador in the Amazon rainforest, there is a lot of productivity, a lot of agriculture, a lot of local small farmers, and the prices here of food, the like local, not packaged food, but the local fruits and vegetables, they remain the same. We don't see any inflation on that local
Nice.
producing plant matter, and for really nice that.
Yes, that's excellent. So everyone should consider this. I say that anyone who is interested in the lifestyle that you described, and one of the things I want to mention as well is that you are eating, since you're eating raw, you're eating fruit, you're eating actual, what I call food as grown. You are not eating what most people eat, which I describe as food-like products. Your body doesn't recognize them as food, but you're eating actual food and you're living among like minds. You're living in a place that's full of life to optimize your health. And as I mentioned earlier, that the high speed internet, I see there's a little bit of breaking up going on right now. That's the next step. That's the final step. And when that is in place, I think that
Yeah,
many more people will be interested in visiting Terra Frutis and possibly living there.
yes, that although even having this Wi-Fi internet here in the jungle in the forest is pretty impressive and
Yes.
helps a lot, but having even more stable internet will, yeah, put us to a next level.
Yes, because a lot of people, like my wife, she's working remotely most of the time, but she needs to have that. So anybody who has a job like that, and there's more and more nowadays since working remote has become almost optional for most people at least. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited because I think that what's going to happen is this type of lifestyle, living it to the fullest, like you are doing, and optimizing your health. And of course, when you optimize your health, the biggest benefit is you feel great all the time and you don't feel sick, right? I mean, you have to tell me that, but please describe that too to people so that because most people don't even know what that is. Most people are
Yeah,
constantly going from one sickness to the next.
yeah. There's no reason when someone lives according to nature and biology and natural design and species specific diet and mostly raw. There's no reason to worry really about the major diseases that exist in city environments and bring so much trouble to people. Clean air, clean water, pure clean food. Yeah, it really really helps peace of mind, all that.
Okay, Nick, well, you've given us a great overview. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add here, but I think this has been a very solid and quick overview of the lifestyle to kind of get people interested and maybe even want to reach out to contact you. Maybe they want to visit you over there in Terra Frutis. And I know you have a website. It's Fruitarian Utopia, but it's spelled Fruitarian and then Eutopia.com. And I'll put the link down below in this video so people can click on that and find out more.
Yes, there are these two places like Terra Frutis and my place, Fruitarian Eutopia, and I think people in different stages they are in diet and lifestyle, one or the other. They can join and really experience this lifestyle for a few months, see the available land around, and yeah. Hopefully value and understand how valuable this setting is for optimum health and life. And yeah, they can adapt accordingly and possibly move to something, to an environment that will support their health.
Yes, and I thank you as well for having the courage to do all this because you've been out there really before anyone else in the personal plots area. You built your house, and actually, I want to mention too, so people can kind of envision what you have. You have the coolest bath I've ever seen. You've got a flowing high mountain stream, and you had a little wall constructed across the stream that has drain holes in it. So normally it's free flowing, but you can block the holes up, and it fills up like a natural flowing bathtub. And that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yes, it's a natural pull on the stream. There's a constant flow, no need to maintain it much, to clean it much. It fills and empties instantly, and it's pretty natural. So that's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see that, in most of the world, everyone seems to be like want to be like Americans. They want to get in their hot tubs, but when you think about what those are, they're just baths of chemicals, right? And people are sitting in them. I mean, what you have is the exact opposite in the right direction, and it's really what people wish they could have, or maybe they don't even know it's available, but you have it right there.
Yes, and I would like to add also that veganism, like living in a city, following a vegan diet and vegan ethics, is a first step to health. And but then with time, we because need to look also after our own optimal health. In order to achieve that, in my opinion, we need to be part of a natural environment, as close to nature and living beings, plants, among them, and live in a really natural environment, not organic environment, not inorganic, that environment of cities and concrete and all that. So if we want to care, like it's the next step of veganism, to care about the
Yes.
human animal and the optimal health.
Yes. Well,
Uh, and yeah, and then after that, the next step of veganism, in my opinion, is to understand that we need to leave the cities and come back to simple life and nature and grow our own food because we have so much environmental impact living in cities as vegans. And I
Yes.
think it's not the ideal part of the ideal concept because we try to minimize the harm as much as possible. So at some point, it's a next step of the vegan morals and ethics to be part of nature and grow our own food and live a simple lifestyle.
Yes, and you're doing that, so thank you so much. And I want to let people know too that I'm going to be there in January. Denise and I, my wife, we're going to be doing some in-person interviews with Nick. Hopefully, you can show us around, and we will have more information for you there. So let us know in the comments any questions you have for Nick and anything you want us to show you when we're in Ecuador at Terra Frutis in January. So thank you, Nick. Thank you so much for talking with us and showing the example for everyone out there for a thing that I think most people didn't even know existed until they watched this video today.
Yes, thank you, Mike, for hosting me, and all the best to everyone watching.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.